And welcome YouTube, this is Boosterbox Buster here with my NFL Super Wild Card Weekend Game Predictions. Now I do enjoy watching me some football, and I gotta say, this year has been some of the best football I have seen. We have had major upsets, teams that have no business beating other teams, and just some amazing overtime games. With that said, I'm going to try to do my best predictions for the Super Wild Card Weekend using some of my NFL shot glasses that I got out of 50-cent vending machines years ago. Please note, I do not have the entire set. I am missing 4 shot glasses, 3 of which do happen to be teams that are in the playoffs, so we just won't have shot glasses for those particular matchups. But with that information out of the way, let's get started. So our first matchup on Saturday, the midday game, we have the Raiders, who just snuck in after 3 incredible, very close wins at the end of the year. And that probably the game of the NFL regular season year, against the Chargers. That was really, really fun to watch. Versus the Cincinnati Bengals, who rested their starters, at least Joe Burrow, in their final game against the Browns. So, these two will face each other in the AFC opener and the wildcard weekend opener on Saturday midday. Now, in my opinion, the Bengals are a very hot team right now. If Joe Burrow gets clicking, they're going to put up the points. However, the Raiders do have a pretty stout defense. If the Raiders can keep the game close, the Raiders have a shot to take that game, because the Raiders thrive off of keeping the game close. If Derek Carr does not turn the ball over, if he does not make stupid interception, mental error mistakes, this game could come down to the wire. Either that, or the Bengals are just going to run all over the Raiders, and it's going to be a squash. In the first regular season meetup, the final tally was a blowout. However, in the first 3 quarters, it was a very close game, and then the Bengals went off in the 4th quarter between the Raiders and Bengals' first meetup. With all that said, sometimes you gotta go with your gut feeling in these type of situations. I'm gonna go Raiders over Bengals. In a very tightly contested game. It's going to come down to the wire in true Raiders fashion, and it's going to probably be a walk-off field goal win for the Raiders. My final score prediction, it's going to be a pretty mild, I'm going to say probably 20... I want to say 29 to 28 Raiders. Alright. So for our late night matchup on Saturday, there it is, we have the Patriots traveling to the Bills. Unfortunately, I do not have a Bills shot glass. That is one of the 4 I do not have. So you're just going to have to stare at the Patriots shot glass here all by itself. So these two teams, I think, match up very well, as they should. They are division rivals. They're going to be at the Bills, which that place is going to be an insane asylum as far as the fans go, because they get pretty crazy up in the Buffalo. And, oh boy, it's going to be cold. They're saying it's going to potentially be sub-zero temperatures. Now, that's not going to affect either team because both teams are very used to that type of weather. They're both in open-air stadiums. They're not very far apart, and they're both very used to the cold. However, that being said, this is going to be much more of a run game as opposed to a pass game. If the pass game gets going, that's great, but I think it's going to be much more heavily reliant on the run. And I gotta say, in that, they're pretty well matched up. I think it's going to come down to one major, broken defensive play that's going to really be the sole difference in this particular game. That being said, the Bills play really, really well at home in the postseason. I think there's something like 12-2. Of course, one of the losses being to the Patriots. But I do think the Patriots meet an early out, and the Bills take this one 27. No, not even that high. I'm going to go more like 17-10. A low-scoring affair. 17-10 Bills. So the Patriots get knocked out. So with that, we go to the Sunday slate of games. Apologies, I might be incorrect, but I believe the opener on Sunday. Where is the shot glass? There it is. Is the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, we're going to be in the Florida for a nice warm game between the Eagles and Tampa. I think this is probably going to be the worst matchup out of all the NFL games for the Super Wild Card weekend. I think the Eagles are going to jump out to an early lead, but then Tom Brady and Gronk, the Brady-Gronk connection is going to happen, and we're going to probably start to see the Tampa Bay pull away toward the middle end of the game. Eagles are going to try to fight back, but I do think Tampa is going to take it by 10 points. I'm going to say a score of 30-20 Tampa Bay. Just like that. 30-20 Tampa. Alright, so that leads us to our midday game, which is a fantastic matchup between San Fran and the Cowboys. San Fran is a very hot team right now. I would not want to run into their path right now, and unfortunately the Cowboys drew them in the opening round. I think the Cowboys would have much rather want to play the Eagles. The Cardinals would have also been a very tough opening round. So, to be honest, between the San Fran and Cardinals, I'd almost want to play the Cardinals over San Fran. I think the Cowboys, if their offense gets going, can make this a shootout. If their offense gets stalled out, or if the San Fran defense really starts to play well, it might be a long day for the Cowboys. It might be. I still think it's going to be close, but I think the Cowboys really have to watch out here. Just to note, I am a Cowboys fan, so I am going to choose them, but I think it's going to be a very, very hard-fought win. I think the Cowboys are going to edge this out in overtime. I think this is going to be not the only potential overtime game of this wildcard weekend, but I think this one has this definite smell of potential overtime. I'm going to go Cowboys win it with a walk-off field goal in overtime. 23-20. If Cowboys do not win, it will be another disappointing season with so much potential, and I still think Zeke has a lot to prove as our franchise running back. Alright, So that leads us to the nightcap game. The Steelers traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Steelers got in by the skin of their teeth. They had to take Baltimore to overtime. And in their first game with Baltimore, they won because Baltimore decided to go for 2 instead of forcing an overtime, and Baltimore failed to convert. So literally, twice they beat Baltimore by the skin of their teeth, and they needed one of those victories to get into this playoff. And they needed the Raiders and Chargers not to tie, which almost happened, and the Colts to lose. So a lot had to fall right for the Steelers to get in, and they somehow got in. This is Big Ben's swan song, carried by his defense. Sounds kind of familiar to what happened with what was it? Peyton Manning, the year that the defense won the championship with Von Miller in Denver. And the Kansas City Chiefs, they got Patrick Mahomes. They got a great wide receiving core. Their defense has been playing pretty solid for the most part. They do have a couple of holes here and there. But I think I have a gut feeling. This is purely gut feeling. Not if you go by stats, Kansas City should swamp them. But I have a gut feeling that the Steelers are going to somehow magically pull out the win. Their defense is going to be rocking. Their defense is going to want to get Ben Roethlisberger another championship. And if Big Ben and the offense don't turn the ball over and just stick with the run game and they're able to get something going, the little checkdowns, and Big Ben's going to have probably one big bomb that's going to score a touchdown. I think Steelers are going to pull off the upset. It's going to be a very, very close game because the Steelers love to live on the edge just like the Raiders. But I think they somehow miraculously pull off the upset. Yes, I am taking the Steelers over Kansas City in a 28-27 victory. Like I said, if I go by stats, this should be an easy dunk for Kansas City, but something about that magic where, somebody's retiring. It did happen with Peyton. Happened with Kurt Warner. He lost the Super Bowl, though. But it just seems like when a big-time, long-time quarterback that's had a lot of success gets ready to retire, it seems like their team plays a lot better. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for Phillip Rivers, but he was with the Chargers, and the Chargers really struggled throughout those years. But somehow, Big Ben and that defense, especially that defense, get it done in Kansas City. That leads us to the Monday night game, where the Cardinals face the Rams. I have neither shot glass, so you're going to be staring at a blank screen here. I think the Cardinals, they play really well on the road. They only have one road loss. The Rams have been very shaky. They have a very good offense and defense. They put all the chips on the table like this is the year that they want to win a Super Bowl. If it doesn't pan out, if it doesn't work for them, they're going to be in trouble because literally all the chip that they've moved all in. Their draft picks are going to be really lacking in the next 2-3 years. Their salary cap is probably right at its edge, if not in trouble. And they got Matthew Stafford, they got OBJ, they got Von Miller. I mean, they got the stacked team. By all rights, they should win and be a Super Bowl contender. However, they've been shaky. Matthew Stafford in particular has been really inconsistent. I thought he would play a lot better being on a lot better team than the Lions, because he kind of is what saved the Lions in a lot of those years. Him and Megatron. But let me tell you, I think the Cardinals get it done and avenge their NFC, or not AFC, NFC West division loss. I think the Cardinals get the W over the Rams, and it's going to be, I'm going to say, 24-20 Cardinals. So with that being said, that is my predictions. Raiders over Bengals, Tampa over the Eagles, Bills over the Patriots, Cowboys over the Niners, and that's just because I'm a Cowboys fan. Steelers somehow get it done against Mahomes, and Cardinals over the Rams. And just to give you an idea of what that would lead to matchups in the divisional round, just for fun I want to show you that. That would mean we would get the Titans hosting the Steelers. Let me... Doesn't like the Titans glass for some reason. I did this in a preview video. That would give us the Raiders at the Bills, which that would be a very tough game for the Raiders on the road if it's going to be really cold. That would give us a rematch of the beginning of the year game between Tampa Bay and the Cowboys. And that would give us Green Bay versus, or hosting the Arizona Cardinals. So yeah, that is my predictions for the wild card weekend. And I will do one for the divisional round and the AFC-NFC Championship. You want to know, just preliminary, obviously this is not going to be final, but you want to know what I think the AFC Championship game is going to be? Because it's probably not going to happen, but I would love to see it happen. Just because of the classic rivalry that these two have from the past. That is what I want to see. Steelers carrying Big Ben, the defense carrying Big Ben to the AFC Championship game. Traveling to the Raiders with the spirit of John Madden getting them there. And what I think the NFC Championship game is going to be, shades of the Ice Bowl, Cowboys versus the Green Bay Packers. That is my prediction for now. But I'm sure I will be 100% wrong, because usually I'm not much of a betting man, but it seems like whenever I discuss these sort of things, I usually pick the wrong teams. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What teams you think will win this wildcard weekend. Until next time, this has been Booster Box Buster, and I'm signing out. Peace.